Welcome, my friends of the interwebs, and today for your viewing pleasure we are going to make chicken parmesan. Yes, I've been in a cooking mood or kitchen mood lately, so I'm going to bring you all along with me. Some of the things you're going to need: boneless, skinless chicken breast. This is Kirkland from Costco. You're going to need an egg. You're going to need a meat hammer so you can beat your meat properly. Now, if you don't have one of these, a thick coffee cup will suffice. I used one for years and years and years. I've only actually had this meat beater or meat hammer for a couple of years, but I do love this. If you ever get a chance, pick one of these up. This side's got the little spikes for tenderizing, and this side's flat for just pounding out. You're going to need breadcrumbs. I'm going to use these. These are from the Fresh Market. I don't know if you have a Fresh Market or not. They're kind of... Fresh Market's really great, but it's really pricey. Everybody has this at any Kroger's, Food Town, Walmart, you know, any of those. Italian style breadcrumbs, what I'm telling you. Salt, I'm using sea salt. Little cracked black. Italian, excuse me, not Italian, olive oil. There's a couple of different kinds of olive oil. This is premium select extra virgin olive oil. It's 31 bucks for a bottle. This stuff is really great, but I only use it for sauces, salads, things that aren't going to be really cooked harsh. So what I'm going to use for this, and you're going to see what I'm going to do with it, but this is it's not virgin or an extra virgin olive oil. But you know, this is good stuff for frying. You're going to need regular flat out olive oil for frying. Extra virgin olive oil has two it burns too easily. It's too low on the flash point. So keep that in mind. You should always have a couple of different types of olive oils. Alright, now I only have one egg because that's all I have in the fridge. Hopefully I can make this work with one egg. You're going to need to make an egg bath. Now, not completely necessary, but necessary nonetheless. Necessary enough to where I'm going to crack the last egg that I have. And basically, I'm going to take a fork. I'm just going to whisk it up. You can use a whisk if that's what you want to do. It makes no difference. Now usually this is where I put a little bit, just a little salt, a little sea salt, and a little cracked black. You don't have to use cracked black pepper. I do. I like pepper. I'm kind of a pepper freak, actually. Okay. Oh, we need another bowl too, by the way. I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to start on the meat. Now, when you pound out your meat, use a plastic bag. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate real quick, and then when I start beating on this chicken, beating on this meat, I'm going to then turn off the camera and come back after I'm done pounding it out. But I want to show you how this works. Okay. Now, typically, what I'll do is I will wash my chicken. I shouldn't say wash it. Rinse it off. It's something my mother always did, so that's why I do it. I don't really think it's necessary, truthfully, but you know, it's one of those things. Mom did it, that's why I'm doing it. Now you can trim, use your knife and trim this breast, trim the loin off of it, like that. Okay, there'll be a loin on both of them. If there's any extra fat, feel free to trim it off. Or if you see any kind of cartilage or anything like that, go ahead and trim that off, because that's just going to be really chewy and not very desirable in the end product. For the most part, this is a pretty good looking breast. Okay. Alright. So what you do is, you slide one of these breasts into the bag. You don't have to close the bag. In fact, you probably ought not to, but I'm going to just a little bit. I do want to I'm going to go totally off camera for a minute. I do want to soak up some of this water from the chicken breast, because otherwise it's just going to fly all over the place. Okay. Basically, the reason you want to do this, if you look at a chicken breast, it's typically thicker up here, thinner down here. You want this to cook evenly. So, start at the thick end, in fact, and just like this. Try to get it even. Okay, let me show you real quick before I turn the camera off and do the other one. What you're going to end up with is that. It's all one thickness. It's just beautiful. Okay. You know what? Let me do one chicken first. And then I'll go ahead and... Now, you know what? I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the other breast off cam. Okay, I'm done pounding the chicken breasts out, and I've got them to the thickness that I want. Fairly even with one another. You're never going to get them perfect, but I'm going to go ahead and hit this with some cracked black. Both sides. Okay. And a little sea salt, why not? Alright, now here's the thing. You didn't know this because I've done this ahead of time, but I made some gravy. Now, most people would use a sauce, but I'm not. In fact, let me see if I can get it up there for you to see that. Okay. Most people would use a sauce. I like meat in my sauce, which turns it into a gravy. So that's kind of the difference. A real Italian, when you talk to them about sauce, that's a meatless red or white. And if you talk to them about gravy, that means you're talking about something that has meat in it. So this is going to be a little bit different. So anyway, I went ahead and I made this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ladle a thin layer of this gravy into this baking dish that I have. And by the way, while you're doing all this, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Okay. Alright. And I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to turn some heat on underneath this skillet. Okay. Alright, now this is where the regular olive oil comes in, because we're going to be frying these chicken cutlets. So I'm going to add a light coat of olive oil to this skillet. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the chicken breasts and I'm going to dip it into the egg wash on both sides. And then I'm going to dip it into the breadcrumbs, the Italian breadcrumbs. Make sure you get plenty of breadcrumbs on it. Not overly thick, but enough. And then into the skillet. Now when you pound these out, there's a couple of different ways you can do it with the chicken breast. You can make them smaller if you want. Cut them to a smaller size, or leave them kind of large. I like to leave mine kind of large because that's just the way I am. Now, make sure you got some heat under the skillet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown these in the skillet, and then I'm going to set them into the baking dish with the gravy on the bottom of it. So I might as well turn the camera off right now until this is almost browned, and then I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, now we got the first one browned. I'm going to show you real quick. That's what it looks like. Got a nice golden brown on both sides. I'm going to set that into this baking dish on top of the gravy. I'm going to do the same thing to the other cutlets, and I'll come back and show you the next step. Okay, I had to adapt and improvise. These chicken breasts turned out to be a little bit bigger than normally, or what I would normally make. So I had to bring out another casserole dish. So bottom line, same deal. I'm just going to cook both these instead of just one. The next step, for me at least, is to go ahead and put a little gravy on top of the chicken. The browned breaded chicken. I didn't show everybody me making this gravy because one, it takes a while to make, and two, when my garden, when the tomatoes start coming in my garden, I'm going to be doing a lot of making of spaghetti sauces and different sauces and stuff. So there'll be a lot of videos coming then. Now you can layer this on there as much or as thick as you want. It's a matter of taste. For the most part, the breasts are, to be honest with you, they're pretty close to being fully cooked. Basically, you're frying them to the point where they're almost fully cooked. So it's not going to take a tremendous amount of time in the oven. You're going to use some cheese now. I'm using mozzarella cheese, but you can use Asiago or experiment if you want, whatever kind of cheese you want. And just kind of spread the cheese on top of the cutlets. And, you know, I love cheese, so I may be putting it on a little thicker than what you would want to do yourself. But I'm a cheese freak. I love, if I order pizza, I get extra cheese. This should do it, just about. Okay, now I'm going to pop these in the oven, and I'm going to cook these for 35 minutes. It varies depending on how long you cooked your cutlets for, but I'm gonna cook these for 30 to 35 minutes. I'm gonna check them at 30 minutes and see what's what. But I'll be back to show you. I'll show you when they get out of the oven. Okay, I got the chicken Parmesan out of the oven, plated up with some spaghetti noodles, with a little bit of that sauce on top and some Parmesan cheese. That's pretty much what it looks like. Now, you don't have to have this with spaghetti. You can have it with vegetables or anything you want, actually. But it's really, this is a very easy dish to create, which I'm hoping that I actually showed. If anybody has any questions, hit me up in the comments section. Oh, I want to thank Guarguar1981 for inspiring me to do a few more cooking videos. Appreciate it, brother. If you're not subscribed to Guarguar1981, you need to do that. He's having a really cool cooking contest right now. And hopefully everybody can get into it. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this, you know, and let me know what you think. Bon appetit. See ya.